Well, we're in the glazing department, and of course, when the glass is all conserved and ready to put back on the trays in the glass conservation department, the trays then brought out here to the glazing department. You can see the trays in the racks and also the rubbings. What happens is when we're ready to rebuild the window with new lead, we go get a tray and the corresponding rubbing, place the rubbing on the table, square everything up, and start building the window. You can see how the window's been built here. The glass is taken off the tray, placed on the rubbing. The lead is cut to fit around the glass. It's wrapped around the glass and fit into place. You can see how it's all being held together to keep it nice and tight with these German glazing nails. And the process goes along, fitting the lead to the glass and fitting it into the shape of the window on top of the rubbing, checking it for sizing and fit and appropriate lead sizes until the entire window is built, after which we're ready to resolder the window and join all the lead joints together with fresh solder. So we'll take a look at that next. We're still in the glazing department here, and what we've done is we've moved over to another bench where you can see the soldering process. Once the window has been completely rebuilt with all new lead, we then take and solder all the intersecting joints of lead. First you do it on one side, you clean the fluxing agent off, and then you flip the window over onto the other side and solder all the intersecting joints of lead on the opposite side after the window is completely rebuilt with new lead and new solder. You can see Scott's using a temperature controlled soldering iron to control the heat in the iron and to apply the solder in an even smooth coat to fuse all the pieces of lead together. This basically is the process of soldering after the new lead is put in. So this is pretty much a completion of the releading process, except for some of the finish work, which we're going to go and look at shortly in the waterproofing department. We're in the waterproofing or cementing department. This is where a grout-like substance is brushed in under the lip of the lead to tighten everything up, take up any differences in the thickness of the glass from the thickness of the lead, and also to waterproof the windows so that when it rains they don't leak. What Mike's doing is applying the waterproofing material, which is similar to a thinned out sash putty. After he brushes it in under all the leads, he'll take and he'll apply a whiting to it to dry it. We're going to come back when he's at that point and take a look at that process so you can see that. Alright, we're at the next step of the waterproofing. Mike's going to take some whiting and he's going to apply it to the window. The purpose of this is to dry out the waterproofing compound. He rubs it around. Waterproofing compound is kind of sort of slimy actually. It's got a lot of boiled linseed oil in it. After he does this, he'll start picking it. What that is the process by which he follows the edges of the lead with a little wooden dowel with a nail in it to take and break the waterproofing compound loose from the lead. Because after he's done this, he's going to take a brush and brush it all away. So this has cleaned up the edges of the lead for any excess waterproofing compound, so there's none sticking out beyond the lead. After he brushes it clean, he'll then take and do a final clean with some sawdust, and then he'll actually buff the leads, give them a nice shine. And we perform this to both sides of the windows. Both sides are treated, after which the window has been completely waterproofed and then has to cure for about 2 to 3 weeks to allow the waterproofing to set up. And then we go into QC and final inspection. In the QC department now, this is a large light table that we put the windows on after they've been completely releaded and have gone through the waterproofing process. The idea is to get them with some intense light behind them to inspect them and see what they're going to look like before we get them back to the church and reinstall them. This gives Mike a chance to assess the quality of the work and the quality of the waterproofing and the cosmetics up close, much closer than you'll ever view the windows from, and to do whatever's necessary to clean off any residues of waterproofing or any little strange things on the lead you might find to make it really cosmetically perfect and ready for reinstallation. We're here in the finish department. After the window's been QC'd, there's one last process that has to be performed, and that's applying the wire ties. The wire ties are 14 gauge tin plated copper, and they're sunk into the solder joints by heating up the solder until it's molten, and they're inserted right in so they become part of the structural system of the window. When the window is reinstalled, these wire ties will be taken and wrapped around a 3/8 inch piece of round steel support bar that usually spans the window from either stone to stone edge or from wood to wood edge. And then when this is folded over and tied down and braided onto the bar, it becomes part of the structural support system. It integrates the window into the window frame and steel support bar system. So the wire ties are very important, that they're made of a good material and that they're soldered in where they're really going to stay put. This is another part of the finish department. This is where the windows are stored. How you store a window and handle windows are as important as how you restore them and correctly restoring them. Once the windows are finished, they have to be stored properly until they're returned to the church for reinstallation. What we have here is one section of our storage rack system. The windows, after they're completely re-leaded and waterproofed and gone through finish department and wire tie, they're foam packed, labeled, and stored in these storage compartments. Some of them, smaller pieces and unique pieces, sometimes have to be crated, which we do. Everything stays here until we take the windows and load them on one of our large 24-foot box trucks for shipment back to the church and reinstallation. This also is an important part because it has to do with stable and secure storage until reinstallation. Here in our site bay, where we organize everything and load it onto our truck, we have our caulks and paints and all kinds of weather patch material here, and we also have our 24-foot box trucks. We're going to take a look at one of them, and you're going to see what's in one of our trucks. And here we've got all types of compartments for our tools, hand tools, air tools, electric tools. They're all organized as kits in these pigeonholes, so that when we go on site, we've got everything we need. We also have ladders, double tread ladders, extension ladders. We've got quite a bit of pipe scaffolding that we carry with us, with the Lumideck, the Lumiplank, sidearms, standoffs, casters. We bring rakes and brooms and things to clean up the yard and the inside of the church with. This is our loading compartment. It starts as a simple leaning board, and we build it custom for each job. Every job has different size windows and different needs and requirements, so we start with this leaning board, and we build out with 2x4s, 2x6s, plywood, luan, padding, foam, whatever is necessary to build a nice big loading compartment out here. Once everything's loaded into this truck, it's very secure. We have a security system. We have good inland marine insurance and Bailey's insurance for the care and custody of your windows, and it travels in a big truck. It's very, very safe, and it's very, very organized. Well, that's it. That was the quick studio tour. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you have any questions, just use the Contact Us page and we'll get back to you. Thanks for visiting.